Mr. Riggleman, a veteran of the United States Air Force who served in Operation Allied Force, Operation Enduring Freedom, and multiple counterterrorism activities over the past 2 decades. And we thank you for your service.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Stand in strong opposition to this amendment. Since I mission planned the first bombing runs in Afghanistan in early 2001, warfare has evolved. It's fascinating to think that my military career started with dropping bombs. One of my jobs was to flush out, bury, or kill insurgents that used caves as places for cover. Technology was certainly in use when utilizing GPS-guided weapons, electro-optical, and laser-guided missiles. We mensurated coordinates by using systems like Raindrop and tracked our air crews with systems like Combat Track. For us older warfighters and folks here, it was incredible then, but today it would be like playing Tank War on an original Atari. Terrorists still use caves, but those caves could be in cyberspace. By 2018, I was working on tracking targets through a myriad of activities, finding gaps in vertically integrated network infrastructures, linking proxy groups to IED resupply, perfecting telephony analysis, computer network attack, and identifying network critical touch points in command and control architectures. I wasn't just dropping bombs anymore. Instead of executing war, our group worked to determine as many asymmetric terrorist attack modalities as we could, and then used research and development to advance new concepts such as algorithmic warfare or instantaneous information sharing. My job in 2 decades took me from bombs to algorithms. This amendment is ill-timed and irresponsible and seems to coincide with impeachment. This act is political, without any forethought to what a possible AMF would look like in this new era of asymmetric warfare. We have Iran on the ropes, have killed their #1 terrorist, and struck their command and control hierarchy in a devastating way. This amendment at the bottom of page 2 states that no federal funds may be obligated or expended for any use of military force against Iran unless Congress has declared war, enacted specific statutory authorization for such use of military force after the date of the enactment of this act that meets the requirements of the War Powers Resolution. Let's ensure we enact specific statutory authorization in a reasoned way before we remove statutory authority already in place. Does this amendment restrict use of resources already in place if Iran employs cyber attack, critical infrastructure attack, electronic warfare, chemical attack, biological attack, or any other of their attack modalities that terrorists like to employ? And what if terror-specific modalities can be used where Iran supports terror operations in places such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Algeria, Yemen, Bahrain? Is the United States then limited to new resource allocation to defend forces? The speed of warfare is intense. And let's make no mistake, Congress cannot always move at the speed of warfare in a time of asymmetric kinetic, think airplanes, or non-kinetic, think electric power infrastructure or military communications network, attack. That's why we have a commander-in-chief. That's why we have Article 2 of the Constitution. That's why our founders made it this way. Sometimes military force is not war. Of course we must preserve Article 1 powers. Let's approach this fix in a way that preserves our Constitution and considers the non-geographic threat posture we live in today. Thank you, and I yield my time.
Gentleman from Virginia yields back. Gentleman from Texas reserves. Gentleman from New York is recognized.